Okay, so maybe we can continue to the next part, which is the breakout room session. So before we start the session, I would like to introduce myself. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon from Indonesia. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Samuel, and I'm a volunteer of ITS Global Engagement, and will be your moderator in this breakout room session. First of all, I would like to say thank you to Mr. Serkan and Mr. Jihad because we are really grateful to you for willing to share with ITS students about Dicle University Turkey through this LSA program. Let me remind you again that Mr. Serkan and Mr. Jihad are the representative of Dicle University Turkey. And in the previous session, you already got insights and information regarding Dicle University Turkey and any opportunities to join programs with Dicle University. So for around 20 minutes, you can ask more detailed questions about Dicle University to Mr. Serkan and Mr. Jihad. Okay, please do not hesitate to convey anything you think is still unclear, or perhaps you need more explanation related to the previous presentation. You can use the chat box and put your question on the chat box, but you can also raise your hand and ask directly to Mr. Serkan or Mr. Jihad. If it is hard for you to express your question in English, it is okay if you use Indonesian, and the committee will help you to ask to Mr. Serkan or Mr. Jihad. Okay, so perhaps we can start the Q&A session. To all of the participants, you can raise your hand and ask directly to Mr. Serkan and Mr. Jihad. Okay, so I see Laura Yola here. To Laura, you can ask directly to Mr. Serkan and Mr. Jihad.
Okay, good afternoon from Indonesia. My name is Laura, and last month I got a letter of acceptance from your university. So my parents were quite worried because I'm gonna be traveling alone, and I want to ask a few questions before I go to your university next semester. So my first question is, do you provide any assistance for international students who just arrived at Diyarbakir?
Actually, we need to apply for this to our IT office, and as soon as we receive a document from you, then we will be forwarding your document to the IT office, and they will manage your email address.
Also, the international office will contact me via email?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, is it all, Laura?
Yes, I think I will continue my questions via email.
Okay.
You can just ask, you can write an email, please feel free. You'll be one of our students next year.
Okay, thank you very much to Laura. Okay, so for the next question, anyone would like to ask directly to Mr. Serkan or Mr. Jihad regarding Dicle University Turkey? Okay, so since no one would like to ask directly, so actually we already have adequate question. This is from one of the participants. So the question is, are there any Indonesian students in Turkey right now, and what's the campus life like?
Actually, as I told, we have about 15 Indonesian students who are studying as a full-time student in here, and they are studying medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, faculty of science, department of, let's say, I think we have biology, and also faculty of veterinary. We have students, and we have students, and they are just after, as soon as they receive an letter of acceptance from here, they are able to apply for the Turkish visa, and after that, they will be after the visa, they will be able to come here. And for the next step, they have to apply for the residence permit as a student, and they will be having chance to stay here for during their studies. And for their study, normal bachelor programs is for 4 years, but it's 5 years for Faculty of Pharmacy and Faculty of Dentistry, and it's 6 years for Faculty of Medicine. But to be able to start their bachelor or master level programs, they have to pass the Turkish language exam, and for this they have to take 1 year Turkish language preparation class. Then they will be able to start their majors. And the campus is, as I told, we have the second biggest campus in our university. We have social and sport activities in the campus, and also there are several student clubs in the campus, and students are also able to make their own organizations like traveling or sports or some cultural activities. And also there are a lot of academic activity in our campus as well. Approximately more than 20 programs is made, 20 international program is made during the academic year in the university, and we are accepting participants from different parts of the world. Let's say the closest program will be the next month international I'm sorry, staffing program. And at the moment we have 60 participants from, if I'm not wrong, 35 different countries, from Indonesia to Argentina, from Poland, France, Germany, Romania, Uzbekistan, as Azerbaijan, and so many countries. And we have an international and living campus in here.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Serkan, for the answers. So actually, there is one question on the chat box. I would like to read it. So the question is there any exchange program for master student that will open this year? Is that program provide scholarships like Erasmus Plus?
Actually, we have two different exchange programs. One is Erasmus Plus and the second one is Mevlana. But Mevlana funds has been canceled for last 2 years, but hopefully next year we will be able to take the applications, because both incoming and outgoing student and staff is getting support from our university. And we are taking the applications just one semester before, and then we take the budget from Turkish Higher Education Council, and we are transferring the grants to student and staff exchange to their own accounts. But for the Erasmus, as you may know, we have to have a project. As soon as the project has been approved by Turkish National Agency, we are able to accept students such as Laura will be here for next academic year, and she will be receiving grant from our university. But for, at the moment, I think the student has been chosen for next year, but we can also write another project with ITS, and after that we'll be able to accept master, bachelor, or PhD level students from your side to here.
Okay, thank you very much to Mr. Serkan. Okay, so I would like to tell once again that please do not hesitate to convey anything you think is still unclear, or perhaps you need more explanation related to the presentation that already explained by Mr. Serkan. And if you guys plan to register for one of the programs in Dicle University Turkey, I think this could be a great opportunity to do a consultation about any related things, because we can say that not all of the ITS students get this kind of advantage, which is in the same Zoom with the representation of the partner university. So anyone would like to ask directly to Mr. Serkan and Mr. Jihad? Okay.
Also, please, one more time, if you also enrolled in our university as a full-time student, you are able to benefit from Erasmus Plus program as a full-time student in Dicle University. such as, for example, you are studying Faculty of Medicine in here, and you want to go Italy under Erasmus Plus program. You are able to apply to the program. Then you can get scholarship or Erasmus grants from our side. Then we can support your studies in Italy financially. And also we have more than 200 agreements with our partners in Europe, and we are organizing more than 100 mobilities with our partners in Europe. It will be also possible for our full-time international students as well.
Okay, thank you very much for that information. Actually, we already have got a question also. So, are there any concerns about the COVID-19 in Turkey right now? Are there any requirement for us as a foreigner to come to Turkey in this pandemic situation?
As you know, the situation is going very different because if the number of cases is high, there is very strict restrictions. But at the moment, the number of cases in total in Turkey is approximately 2,000 cases in a day. And the restrictions has been cancelled, and such as, for example, we don't have to wear masks in outdoor areas. But if also the indoor area is ventilated well, you don't have to wear mask again. And the restrictions will be changing during your application or planned days to come here. But if the number of cases decrease with these numbers, it will not be a problem to come here under any program.
Okay, so is it means that we do not need to have like a quarantine if we go to Turkey?
No, it's not. No, you don't have to be in a quarantine.
Okay, thank you very much for that information. And also, we also have a question. Is it okay for us as a student to like have a job in Turkey? Is it prohibited or is it okay?
Actually, it depends. For example, at the moment we have some students, some graduate students who graduate from Turkish university. They are able to work in here, but it depends on their major and it depends on the place that they want to work. For the public sector, it's a bit different. For example, if we are a medical student and medical graduate in here, if I'm not wrong, it's possible to work here, and or you can just apply as a residency student in different Turkish universities again. But for example, if you are a social science student and if you want to work in a private sector, it depends on their conditions. The company that you apply, they have their own rules and own procedures. And for the public sector, for medical students, it has the advantage, I can say that.
Okay, thank you for that answer, Mr. Serkan. So, and there is more question from Sri Aziza on the chat box. So she asked that, what are the requirements for Erasmus Plus and what documents do we need to submit if we want to apply for this exchange program, which is Erasmus?
Yeah, if you are enrolled in ITS as a full-time student, you have to follow the calls of your university because they have to make the calls for the student and staff who are willing to apply to the program. And in these calls, the departments will be able to, which departments will be able to apply to the program must be mentioned. And if you are asking to be a full-time student in Dicle University and applying to the Erasmus Plus program, you have to have a GPA minimum 2 out of 4, and for master and PhD level is 2.5 out of 4, and you have to pass exam for language. It's normally we are making language exam in English and also French or German. And Also, this requirement is the same for our international credit mobility attendees or participants. You have to have for undergraduate graduate level 2 GPA out of 4, and you have to pass the language exam, which will be made by your institution. And as soon as you meet that criteria, so you are able to apply to the program. Then 50% of your GPA and 50% of your language exam score will be taken, and the one who has the highest point will be able to join the program.
Okay, thank you very much to Mr. Sarkan and Mr. Jihad. I think it's already clear for Sri Aziza for the answer. Okay, so actually there is more question. Is there any kind of small programs from Dicle University Turkey that available for international students to do over there while studying, like certification, perhaps?
As I told, we have a lot of academic activities in our university. For example, next month we have one program, and after Bayram or Eid holiday, we have another program. The week after the Bayram, we'll have another program in our university for Faculty of Agriculture. And after our program, there will be another program for Faculty of Economics and Administrative Science. And students are also able to make their academic papers for that program, and they can present their papers and they can get certificate from us. Additionally, we are also organizing short-term exchange programs as well. For example, 5 months ago, we have a short-term program with our partners in Indonesia, University of Islam Indonesia. We have approximately 30 students, and 10 lecturers came from Indonesia. And our students is also able to join that kind of programs as well. Especially our international students is invited to that kind of programs. And most of programs give a certificate to the students. Additionally, we are also sending our full-time students to our partners for short-term programs as well. For example, just before COVID-19 process, we sent 15 students to Malaysia, to University of Malaya, and we also we expect some students from Iraq, and also we took some students from Germany as well. And also, as I told, our students will able to be a part of that kind of programs, which will be held in our campus.
Okay, thank you very much for all of the information. I hope the answers already clear. And okay, so anyone would like to ask again to Mr. Sarkan or Mr. Jihad about Dicle University Turkey, you can ask directly to Mr. Sarkan by using your raise hand feature, or put your question on the chat box. Okay. I think there is no one to like to give their question. There is also question, the last question, I think, do you also provide classes in your local language? If yes, do we need a certificate in that language to apply?
For our exchange students, we have English classes, but for our full-time students, to be enrolled as a full-time student in Dicle University, you have to pass a Turkish language exam, because the language of instruction of the university is in Turkish. And as soon as you take your language certificate, you will be able to start your department. For example, if you are accepted in Faculty of Engineering to our university, or as a master level student in Graduate School of Social Science, you have to pass the Turkish language exam. Then you will receive a certificate from our language center. Then for the next step, you will be able to start your studies in here.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Sarkan, for the answer. Unfortunately, the time for this session has ended. Thank you for the enthusiasm for all of the participants, and also thank you for Mr. Serkan and Mr. Jihad for the time and enlightening us with all of the answered informations. Maybe from Mr. Serkan or Mr. Jihad, do you have any something to add for the closing statement?
No, thank you so much, Terima kasih, for joining us, and we'll be happy to see you.
Okay, thank you very much also to Mr. Serkan and Mr. Jihad. Dear all of the participants, I think that is all from me as the moderator in this breakout room session. I apologize for any mistake that I made during this session, and we hope that all of your curiosity has been answered. Please return to the main room to continue to the next agenda. Thank you very much. For Mr. Serkan and Mr. Jihad, you can also back to the main room. Thank you. Excuse me, Mr. So actually, you can also back to the main room. Thank you. Once again, I would like to.
And I would like to encourage all participants to ask as much questions as you like about NTUST, as this is a great opportunity for you to gather information about anything regarding the university and their programs. So anyone would like to ask the question?
If you allowed, actually, I saw a question from the former chat box asking about a dual degree program. Yes, we have a dual degree program with lots of departments in ITS, between ITS and Taiwan Tech. And if you want to join the dual degree program, you can check the information here for the admission. Yes, if you click on that, it will lead to our admission for the dual degree program. As far as I know, the department, they have their student selection, and also they have the procedures for the application. But we welcome ITS students very much. So if you are really interested, please go ahead and apply.
All right. Thank you for the information, Ms. Irene.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you guys are really interested, you guys could check the website provided by Ms. Irene. And does anyone have any question? Maybe anything about, you guys don't really need to ask about NTUST necessarily. You can ask as well about Taiwan in general. Oh, okay. So we have a question from who's this? From Muhammad Akbar Miftah. Please, you may introduce yourself and then deliver your question.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity that you have given me to ask the questions. I should introduce myself, sir. First, my name is Muhammad Akbar Miftah Zaman. I'm from physics engineering. The questions that I have is if I were to join a program that allow me to go to Taiwan and stay in Taiwan for a prolonged period of times, is there any rules that prohibiting me from, for example, doing part-time jobs or doing side jobs, or even applying as a assistant professor or research assistants in the labs that allow me to gain some extra money, I think. Thank you very much.
Okay, I think it really depends on what program you wish to join. If you come to Taiwan as a degree student, there should be no problem for you to apply for a working permit. Yeah, but if you want to come to Taiwan as an exchange student, it's according to the regulation, exchange students are not able to apply for a working permit if they only wish to stay for 1 year or 1 semester. Yeah, do you think of coming to Taiwan to have a degree or only for an exchange? Because exchange is usually 1 semester or 1 year.
For the questions, whether I want a degree or exchange, whether I want to join join exchange program or to get a degree in NTUST, I haven't really decided yet. But however, Taiwan is one of the country that I'm really interested in on finding further information regarding exchange program, short-term program, for example, like a summer program, or even getting my second degree in Taiwan. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Irene, for the insightful explanation. For Muhammad Akbar, I hope that answers your question. All right. Moving on to the next question. Does anyone have any questions?
Later, before did Sadewa raise in the chat box previously? Maybe Mr. Sadewa, you may deliver. Sadewa, you may deliver as well directly your question. Yeah, she's in here. Mr. Sadewa, Sadewa Wicaksana.
So actually, in the double degree program, there is opportunity to open TUST or only once a year or applying double degree program.
Sorry, it's not so clear. Could you say the question?
They're asking about the double degree. They are master student in electrical engineering. Do they have opportunity the master to do double degree for every semester, or they only open yearly? I think that's the question.
It really depends on the department, but usually it's on a semester basis. Yeah, because the number of students we could host should be under guidance of our Ministry of Education. So, but usually it should be okay to host students from either spring semester or fall semester.
Okay. Does that answer the question, Mr. Sadewa?
And what the first I have to call the professor in Taiwan first, or I only submit the application?
You can only submit the application first. And after you are selected as one of the candidates, then you'll be informed, and then you can start to look for professors.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for the answer, Ms. Irene, and I hope that answers Mr. Sadewa's question. All right, let's move on to the next question. All right. Mr. Alfonso Enrico raised his hand. So to Mr. Alfonso Enrico, you may answer. You may ask your question, and don't forget to introduce yourself first and then deliver your question.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. And my name is Alfonso Enrico, and I come from ITS, Department of Engineering Physics. So my question is, what program that most students from Indonesia or perhaps ITS apply? What is the program that have the most interest in students from Indonesia? In particularly the ITS, because I feel like the other universities here has programs that kind of irrelevant with the Institute of Technology. Yeah, I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay. So actually, we have so many cooperation programs with ITS. As far as I know, we have dual degree programs. So if the department has a dual degree agreement, students could come to could choose to come here for 1 year dual degree program, which means 1 year in ITS and 1 year in Taiwan Tech. And apart from that, we also accept students to join us for a degree. So it could be a bachelor's degree 4 years or a master's degree 2 years. Yeah, I'm sorry, because the question is a bit blurred, so I'm not quite sure whether that is exactly what you asked.
Does that answer your question, Mr. Alphonsus?
Thank you for the response, but I think that's not the answer that I expected. Sorry. I think my question should be like what faculty that most students from ITS join for the
faculties. Oh, I see.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
For faculties, most of them join our College of Engineering. For example, we have College of Engineering, and underneath the college, we have mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, and let me see. If you don't mind, please allow me to check the presentation. Let's see. Mechanical engineering, material science engineering, civil engineering, construction engineering, chemical engineering, and graduate school of automation and control. These are these are the department of our College of Engineering. But as far as I know, the most popular one for College of Engineering should be mechanical engineering, material science, chemical engineering, civil engineering. Thank you.
Okay, does that answer the question, Mr. Alphonsus?
Yes, it is. Thank you for the answer. I'm satisfied with the response. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for the explanation and also the answer, Ms. Irene. Does anyone else have any question? Either you can write it down on the chat box, or you can use the raise hand feature. Okay, so maybe if no one would like to ask a question.
Yeah, if there's no one.
I would like to ask a question as well, actually, Ms. Irene.
Okay.
So,
yes.
So with the recent cases of corona, if say that we're going to apply for the upcoming exchange program, will it be held offline or online at the current time being in NTUST?
Well, thank you so much for the question. Actually, at the very beginning, we would like to encourage students to wait until the border is open. The reason for that is we want students to be here to feel the culture. We know that online teaching is wonderful option, but it also misses the culture part and also miss the part of the real experience of learning or living. Yeah, but as the border regulation is not eased yet, we are planning maybe we will have a short co-teaching or co-learning program arranged by some of our departments. And I think the department are still working on this, and we are not really sure when exactly this will be ready. But if it's ready, we will inform ITS, of course.
I see. All right. And also, do you have any cultural classes, for example, like knowing the local culture in Taiwan, or maybe learn the local languages there?
Yes.
Perhaps?
Yes, we offer free Mandarin learning programs, and we divide students into different levels, so they can start from the zero, from the new beginner, or they can even come here as a high-level Chinese speaker. And also, we know some of students need to work in Taiwan. So we also have some high-level Chinese speaking in the business world. We think this will help the students to know more about the language to spoken in the business background.
Let's see. Okay. Yeah, maybe if you guys wanna
Yes.
do an exchange program there, you guys maybe could study, Mandarin. And yeah, now does anyone else have any question?
If you don't have question, maybe I can play a video if you allow me.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. Sorry, because I accidentally deleted that from my computer. So please allow me a minute.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
While waiting, if you guys have any questions, please write them down on the chat box, or maybe you can use your raise hand feature. Don't forget to introduce yourself first, then you may ask a question.
Okay, so I guess there's no questions. If it's okay, I'll just share it now.
Oh yeah, it's all right. You may
Okay.
you may share your screen to show the
Yeah.
video.
Thank you so much. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's very visible from my screen. I think you haven't shared your sound yet.
I'm sorry, you mean the sound?
Yeah. The sound's not yet. I can't hear. Oh, I don't think the sound is. The audio is.
Oh.
It's not yet out.
All right, put this out. Oh, okay. Sorry. Allow me to start from the beginning. I think it's
Yeah, sure.
be ready. Is that working? thank you so much. So if you have questions, please.
All right. After watching the video was awesome. I enjoyed it. It's really informative, actually, Miss Irene. So, anyone, any questions, guys? Maybe last question before we'll end. Before I end the breakout room session.
Yeah, sure.
Regarding the housing, will it be provided by the university, or if not, then how hard is it? How hard is it to find one in Taiwan right now?
Okay. Actually, when students submit their application, one of the questions is to ask whether they wish to have on-campus housing. Yeah, it's more or less like a guaranteed, as we know that it's difficult. It might be difficult for our international degree students. So as long as they apply, they take yes, I need an accommodation. We'll try our best to arrange it. Our housing is on campus, and we have a new one just opened last year. But we actually have 3 in total. But the rooms are shared by some boarders. So one room could be shared by 4 to 6 students, depends on the room type.
Okay, yeah, thank you for the answer, Ms. Irene, because as far as I know, housing is really important, especially for us international students who are going to do exchange program or maybe dual degree.
Yeah.
And very last question.
Yes, sure.
What's the living cost in roughly in Taiwan, especially in the area of NTUST?
In area of NTUST, well, if you ask about the food, actually the food in NTUST is cheaper than somewhere compared to out of campus. You probably need I think maybe $2 to $3 for a meal. On campus, $2 to $3. 2 to 3. Yeah. Usually it should be around 2, between 2 and 3. But if you want to go to restaurants, of course the cost will be higher. It could be if a small restaurant, it could be around starting from $10 to maybe 100. All possible. Yeah, but on campus it's quite cheap.
All right. Thank you for the information. So yeah, the time for this session has ended. Thank you for your enthusiasm, guys, and also thank you very much, Ms. Irene, for the time to enlighten us with the answer. Dear participants, that is all from me as the moderator in the session. I would like to apologize for any mistakes that I made during this session, and we hope that all of your curiosity has been answered. Please return to the main room to continue the next agenda. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you as well to Ms. Irene for the answers. It's very insightful.
Thank you. Should I move on to the main room?
Yeah, please move to the main room.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah. For the rest of the participants here, please return to the main room as for the next agenda. Thank you very much.
the moment when I enter the breakout room, it suddenly turned on. So not sure why.
That's all right. Technical problem always happen.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lucas and Miss Jia. How are you?
Great. We're doing, Andrew.
I'm great too, thank you. My name is Stefania and I will be the moderator for the session.
Sure.
Okay, so we will wait a couple of minutes for the participants to join us and then we can start the breakout room session.
Okay. Is Dirong here?
No, Dirong is unfortunately has.
Oh,
I think he needs to pick up his kids.
I see.
I think we will wait 1 or 2 minutes for the participants to join us.
Sure, no worries.
Okay, everyone. I think while we wait for the other participants to join us, I will open the session. So good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, participants, and good afternoon, Mr. Lucas and Miss Jiang. How are you once again?
So that you're doing well.
We are great.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, so everyone in the previous session, you all already got insights about SUSS and opportunities to join programs with Singapore University of Social Sciences. So for the next 15 minutes, you can ask more detailed questions to Mr. Lucas and Ms. Yang related to Singapore University of Social Sciences or programs that you can join. So please don't hesitate to convey anything you think is still unclear or perhaps you need more explanation related to the previous presentation. You can simply use the raise hand feature and wait for me, the moderator, to call out your name and say your question, or you can simply type your question through the chat box using the format name _ student ID. And if it's hard to speak in English, you may ask in Bahasa Indonesia instead, and our committee, I, will translate your question to English. But it will be very much appreciated if you use English to practice your ability. Okay, so does anybody have a question regarding Singapore University of Social Sciences? Once again, you can use the raise hand feature, or you can type your question in the chat box. Okay, I think our participants are still preparing for the question, Mr. Lucas and Ms. Jiang. So I think I'm gonna be asking you one question that I'm going to pick one out of the many questions that I see on the registration form. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the participants asked, will the visa or the university allow us to work part-time job? You may answer the question. Thank you.
Prof. Chiang, maybe for undergrad, I don't think that's possible, right?
Master program, it is also not possible. Yeah. In fact, it is not a law by university, but it is law by immigration office that students are not allowed to work part-time on part-time basis in Singapore. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so unfortunately, we can we, Mr. Lucas and Ms. Yang? All right. Well, thank you very much for the explanation. For the participants, I remind you once again that if you have a question that you want to ask, you can use the raise hand feature and I will call out your name so you can open your mic and ask your question, or you can simply type it in the chat box. If you are too shy, probably, to open your microphone, I will wait for 1 minute. If one of you wants to ask a question.
I am open for any questions. Just a little bit of background. I have lived in both countries. I stayed in Singapore for almost 10 years, but I myself am Indonesian. So if you want to ask any questions, be related to the live, not only because of SUSS, I'm open only for this session.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lucas. So as Mr. Lucas said, you can ask anything regarding SUSS, whether it's the programs that you can join, or probably a scholarship that, that they offer, or the student activities that are available in the university. You can ask basically everything. So I encourage every one of you to ask some questions. Okay, Mr. Lucas and Ms. Tia, I think our participants are too shy. So let me pick one more question from the registration form.
Yes.
Okay. So one of the participants asked, is there any language class or course that we must take if we join a master degree program? And what kind of scholarship can we join? You may answer the question. Thank you.
Okay. I think for this master program, you are supposed to take the language proficiency test like IELTS or TOEFL. So once you pass the threshold, then you fulfill the requirement. You don't have to take any other language courses before you get admitted. But if you feel that your language is not there, and it is a very important, especially for my program, most of the exam take the format of writing business cases or writing essays. So language proficiency is going to affect your study a lot. So otherwise, I'm not sure if the university is providing, but I don't think we are giving a student pass to the students for the language preparation alone. So you probably can search some private courses, in Singapore or in Indonesia, but the program will start admission only if you meet the language requirement. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Yang. Okay, for the participants, I'll remind you once again, if you want to ask a question, you can simply use the raise hand feature, or you can drop your question in the chat box.
Okay, I just want to share. If you guys are too shy to ask the questions now, if it's related to SUSS and admission, you can always contact me You can ask Pak Wahyu for my contact through my email, or you can ask Pak Wahyu and then he can collate the questions and then ask. But I will only entertain questions related to SUSS if it's through Pak Wahyu. But for this time, I am open for any questions related to anything. As long as I can answer it, I will answer it, but only for this session. Like what are the best food in Singapore, for example, that kind of thing. What are the food like in Singapore compared to Indonesia? Like what is the living cost, so on and so forth. Do you need to speak can you live in Singapore by only by only speaking bahasa Indonesia, and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah,
So I can take all the questions now, but I will not answer those questions through email.
Yeah, Pak Lucas, sorry. While waiting my student question is actually the question from my director, Professor Maria Jasari, and my colleagues. So Pak Lucas, finally, after 2 years, we have program that namely is student excursion. During the student excursion and before the pandemic, we are normally visiting Singapore, like in group, for example, one group is up to 20 students, visit some public normal is like in 4 days. There's like today is going to the I forgot the name, PSA, and then the next day in NTU, and the next day in the PUBG, the water system. So my professor Maria asked me, because this year we have 130 students from IUP program who are interested to join as Singapore. We would like to ask whether if one group can can visit SUSS. We are thinking to help the program in around July or August. So only like short days, so maybe they may have discussion with SUSS team over there. Yeah, up to you that in which angle that you can part. That we would like to know if there is any possibility if our student group, one group can visit SUSS, or maybe is there any procedure, for example, because sometimes also the student from student association Bapak or himpunan mahasiswa, sometimes also they arranging their directly for like what we have program what called student excursion. The student excursion there can be two. It can be mandiri independent student excursion, which from department, or from our office global engagement who arranging the student excursion. So that's Pak. Is there any possibility? Do you think that we can visit SUSS to bring at least one group to go to the SUSS, Bapak? Only like not more than half day.
Okay. I believe we are very pleased to hear this, and we are very open to receive and welcome students, especially from our partners. So do let us know in advance so that we can do some preparations, maybe arrange for a school tour.
Yes.
Yes, but we are always happy, but just come knocking so that we are not prepared and we don't even know when you guys are coming. But if you guys are telling us in advance, then we can make some preparations.
Okay. Like, should we like make some booking through the website, or we just like can send an email to with the letter first?
You can let me know through the email, and then I can forward it to the team to welcome. Because through a website, I don't think we provide such link.
Okay, I understood, Pak. Okay, so I will inform Professor Maria and my colleagues, and also regarding the date, we will inform you at least about 1 month or 1.5 month before. Thank you,
Yes,
Pak.
yes, please.
Thank you.
We look forward to it. Yeah. Is there any of the students here in this room that applied for social fashion?
In this room, let me check. No, Pak. In other room. I think they are
all right.
excited to meet you, Pak. Yeah, I think because this week is the interview session, so I understood the pressure. Yeah, they are in this room, other room, Pak.
Okay,
There's
no
a crowd
worries.
of
We have not come to a decision yet to which students are accepted. Hopefully, there are some representatives from ITS.
Yes, sure, Bapak. Okay, Anya, back to you. Would like to give a question from the registration form, or from the chat box, or from the response, Anya.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Wahyu. Thank you very much. Also to Mr. Lucas, and for the participants, I remind you once again if you want to ask question, you can use the raise hand feature or drop your question in the chat box. And while we're waiting for the participants to prepare their question, maybe Mr. Lucas and Ms. Jiang, I'm going to take one more question from the registration form. So I saw a question. It's not specifically about SUSS, but it's about more about study abroad. So he or she asked, what is the most influential thing for the university from its students to be able to study abroad? Do you understand the question, or
Sorry, I missed the last part. Yeah. What is the most?
I will read it once again. What is the most influential thing for the university from its students to be able to study abroad? I think it's kind of a characteristic from the students to be able to study abroad. I will leave it to you, so you may answer the question. Thank you.
Prof. Chiang, would you like to start, or shall I start?
Lucas, you can go ahead. I mean, you are fresh. Yes, you have experience in Singapore, so you go ahead first.
For the university's point of view, I believe university's job is to provide platform. So it's unlike a JC, junior college or high school, where students are so-called forced to do something. But in a university, students are free not to do anything, as far as I know. So it's a university's job to provide a platform for students to experience something outside of their campus. And I believe it is encouraged now, given the new regulations by our Minister of Education, His Excellency Nadiem Makarim. And also from students' point of view, I think a global mindset, it is very necessary, because when we want to live abroad, it is not just the language that we need to master, but also how we adapt into that one culture, especially when we want to work. Because at the end of the day, why we want to study overseas abroad is we want to get one, knowledge, culture, and two, I assume, will be to work in a MNC that is related to a certain country, or even to work in that country itself, for the opportunities to work in that country itself. So I believe those aspects are important. So Prof. Chiang, if you have anything to add.
Yes, I totally agree with Lucas. In fact, I myself was also an international student. 20 years ago, I studied in the Netherlands, Erasmus University Rotterdam. Later on, I became assistant professor there, and before I came back to Singapore. I think what is important is, of course, knowledge is important. But given the fact that nowadays you can have access to so many things on internet, which is a luxury. At my time, we were not able to get access to knowledge if we don't go to present physically, right? And also given that there are so many universities, you can do an online program. Why do you bother to come and travel all the way to another country, maybe with more higher living expenditure, so on and so forth. But I think, thinking back, I think all these experiences really was, as Lucas has mentioned, a global mindset, right? The way that how other culture thinking. Singapore is a culture meltpot, right? You meet people from Western country, Caucasians, you have people from China, Asian, all over the places. And it is still stay the Oriental culture, which is not very far from our local country. We are all conservative, right, relatively, but it's also a very modern culture. You are expected to behave and work in the kind of a Western mentality. I think the great thing about study abroad is later on, when you go back to Indonesia, from time to time, you are expected to meet people in the region. You are going to expect it, and I think with this kind of international study experience, you can immediately build that kind of bonding, start things easily. Wow, I understand exactly where do you come from, why you raise that thing, right? How chicken rice, yes, I've also been to that shop. So it's so easy for you to make that kind of click. Yeah, so I think if ever you decided to study abroad, be it in Asia, US, or in Europe, of the study time, do give you some time to go to the society. In Singapore, there's a lot of voluntary societies, and for culture, for various aspects of society. So volunteer yourself, take part of those activities. That's where you get to know the locals, the culture, so on and so forth. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Jiang. Thank you very much, Ms. Lucas. That was very interesting. So for Mas Wahyu, maybe you have a closing statement, because unfortunately we ran out of time. So
just give them Professor Jiang or Pak Lucas. Oh, actually, I have a question, Pak. Is still possible? Last question, Pak.
Sure. Please go ahead.
Pak Lucas and Professor Jiang. Actually, it's common question. Due to the program is what we call ISMA from Indonesia government. Now, almost of our students is already have TOEFL Duolingo. I'm not sure if you are familiar with that. So we would like to just curious if our student apply to your program either on master or like some program from SUSS who need to the TOEFL, can they also using the TOEFL Duolingo that base that they taken from the online, because it seems also is quite challenging. Yeah, it's like the difficult as like the IELTS, but also need to effort to do the TOEFL Duolingo. So do you think you may SUSS accept Duolingo as well, or still didn't familiar with the TOEFL Duolingo? Thank you.
Prof. Jiang, I think I'll leave it to you.
Yes, there's a bit laggy there, but I'm not sure if I get it. You mean for TOEFL there is
Duolingo, TOEFL Duolingo.
Duolingo, okay.
Yeah,
that thing I'm not sure. I have to go back and check. It's really related with admission office. So at program level, we really so those criteria that admission officer has to first make sure that students have fulfilled. But let me come back to your question. I will write back to Lucas, and then so Lucas can write back to your question. Yeah.
Yes. That will be it. Later, maybe I will also send
disseminate it to the students.
The example. So maybe you may can
sure.
Okay,
sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe for the last closing statement from both of you. Yeah.
Closing statement. All right. What is it? Okay, for me, for you guys, students, university students, as I mentioned, in university, you guys are not forced to learn, but as Prof. Jiang has mentioned, in today's days and age, the opportunities to learn are just everywhere. So it is just such a waste if you guys are not making use of it. But I believe since you guys are here, not just for the points, I believe. So you guys here just to do take part in as many activities as possible. And as SUSS, we do provide some of the events. I do believe some of them are really exciting to take part in. So do ensure to join in, especially like for the social patient. I myself, I believe that in the first iteration, I think this is the second, it was really amazing. So you guys must take part on it, on those events.
Yeah, Prof. Jiang, maybe still have some word, Professor.
Well, I'm from a digital marketing background, so I think the development of digital marketing in Indonesia especially is amazing. I think Amaden has missed reading what is happening in China, in Southeast Asia. So Amaden was late, right? Coming to the world's the most fastest and largest a digital economy. I mean, US and China, they are pretty much at saturated process, but Southeast Asia is at the burgeon of digital economy. So take the right, and then you guys know that all these amazing phenomenon, right? All these buzzword, NFT, and then metaverse, and there's a student from Indonesia has taken a video for himself, right? A picture for how many days, and I forgot 3 million. Yes, of that. So be part of it. Okay, you guys are citizens of the. We are migrations to the digital era. Okay, you guys are native citizens. So yeah, feel free to look at our webpage. You can also find my name on the linking page. Feel free to link me, because from time to time we will have digital marketing seminars, webinars open to the public. There's not much time lag difference here. So without coming to SUSS, you're already being able to have an experience in SUSS. I think in coming October, we are going to have speakers from to talk about the branding strategy, so on and so forth. So if you're interested, link me on the LinkedIn. I will from time to time to put on those free webinars. In addition, Prof, I'm also open to give talk about digital marketing in general. So I'm more than happy to share about giving a seminar or public talk regarding digital marketing. Yeah, so that's all. Thank you very much, and thank you all for coming. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Jiang and Mr. Lucas. That was a very incredible closing statement, and it has been a great session. And I want to thank you very much for sharing with us. And of course, thank you for all the participants for joining this session with us. And unfortunately, our time has run out. So for the participants, you can go back to the main room, and I will see you in the next LSA event. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ms. Jiang. Thank you, Mr. Lucas.
Bye.
Have a great day. Thank you.
You too. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.